गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Fear is an imagination of repeating the past bad experience in the future. For example, one person told that, Swamiji, I don't want to get married, but my parents want me to get married. I said, then why don't you get married? I am afraid. I said, why are you afraid? Is it your first marriage or second marriage? He said, no, this is my first marriage. Then why you should be afraid? Because first marriage is only, overpowering imagination over the realities of life is called as the first marriage. And the second marriage is the hope which takes possession of the facts of life. Isn't it? See, you have not married. Why are you afraid? No, I have seen so many married people. They are very miserable. So I don't want to get married. See, friends, fear is only an imagination. If we say that I have fear of fire. See, there is a friend of mine. She has tremendous fear. She is a Gujarati girl. Tremendous fear of cockroaches. She just can't stand the word cockroach. If she is sitting, the other day we were going somewhere in the car, and on the road there was a cockroach crossing. So I said, hey, look, cockroach. In the car she jumped. I said, why are you so much afraid of it? He said, I don't know. I can take a snake in the hand. I am not afraid. But about the cockroaches, I am afraid. So what could be that? So according to some kind of science, they say, there must have been some kind of a deep experience on account of the cockroach in her life. Maybe as a child, etc. So I said, I'll find it out, don't worry. Then one day I asked her mother, I said, Mom, don't tell anybody, it is only between you and me. What was that has happened to your daughter when she was small? Because she is very peculiar, she is afraid of cockroaches and she doesn't like milk. What is the reason? So he says, Swamiji, you have pinpointed her problem. I'll tell you, nobody knows about it. When she was small and a glass of milk was given to her, and I gave it to her and went away, and a cockroach fell in that. And when she took the cup and put it into the saucer, the milk, along with the cockroach came, from that moment onward, she just can't imagine to have milk and cockroach anywhere near. So in her childhood, there was some kind of wound in her mind, and that is getting repeated. That may again it happen? Exactly this is what happens in our life. So those people who are living in the past and all the time bring the past in the present, they cannot live fearlessly in the present with a hope to live happily in the future. Because those experiences of the past, they become so strong. Like we all have fear for fire. Please remember this important thing. We have got fear for fire. We don't have hatred for fire. Because during childhood, sometime or the other, we were burned, either by the hot milk or catching something. And therefore, we have fear for the fire. And the fear is because of the earlier experience. Whenever we touch fire, we get burned, and therefore there is a fear. Now, if this is understood, now let us come to the most important principle. Fear for death. See? Now, the fear for death, is it born out of experience like the fear for the fire? See? Then why we are afraid? Think coolly. Because we see other people dying, and number one. Number two, then we also take ourselves to be the body as others are also body. Therefore, when the body dies, and we also imagine, because I am a body, therefore the body will die, and therefore we are afraid. But let us find out our immediate experience. Has any one of us ever experienced death? See, it's a very, very important topic. Lively topic about death. See? Once I was in a university, BITS Pilani, and after my lecture was over, to the youngsters, the students were from class 12th. So I talked to them to inspire, bring them out of the perspiration. And I told, any question, but only from the students, because I have addressed the students. Nobody other than the student, even the teacher should ask any question. Yes, the forum is open. One oldie not out got up. Swamiji, I have a question. I said, I am sorry. I told I am not going to answer question from anyone except the student. So he felt very annoyed. I don't know who he was, went out walking. I said, who cares? A person who becomes miserable because of others, he is the fool of the highest order. I am not fool. See? And after all that was over, I was sitting with the principal for a cup of tea. Then I said, sir, please call that teacher or whosoever he may be. He felt annoyed. I'll talk to him. He was called. I got up, received him with great respect. And then I said, sir, I am extremely sorry, but I did not like you to ask any question because I knew what question you were going to ask, and that was a wrong place to ask that question. How do you know what question I was going to ask? I said, your question was, Swamiji, what happens after death? Is it not? How come you know? I said, from your face. You are not living. See. Okay, that is my question. Now you can answer. I said, yes, now I can answer. Then I asked him, first of all, you tell me, do you have the experience of death? No. Do you have the experience of shock from the electric current? Yes. Now, do you have fear for both? Experience one called as the electrical shock and no experience called as the death. You have got fear from both. So if you have fear from the electrical shock, it is born out of your experience. If you have fear about death, it is born out of imagination. Oh, Swamiji, I am getting confused. I said, that is my profession. See, like the doctor's profession is maintenance of the patients. Liar's profession is maintenance of the clients. In the same manner, my profession is maintenance of your confusion. The more you are confused, the more happy I am. See? Then I asked him, please tell me, what is that which is bugging you? He said, no, we have heard so much that after death one goes to heaven or hell. See? See, I said, look here, in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Bhagavan Krishna tells Arjun, Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhihi tada yogam avapsasi. Hey Arjun, you have heard so much that over your disease I can diagnose. You are suffering from spiritual poisoning. See? Shruti vipratipanna. You have heard so much that you are confused. Vipratipanna is confused. Because of our Shruti, because you have heard so much. And how do we hear? Ganga gaye Ganga ji, Jamna gaye Jamna ji, ghar mein aaye Devdas ji. See? Therefore, first of all, find out, is your fear justified? We all talk about death, death, death. See, Shruti vipratipanna, we are so confused about it. We go to so many satsangs, and there we are frightened. If you do this thing, you will go to hell. And thereafter we start living a most miserable life. Living a miserable life, is it living? It is dying. Today I was correcting one of my manuscripts. Our Vaidhi has done the editing, so I was going through. And in that, I must have told that time one story. That there was a child, he was telling, I am dying to get first position. And he studies hard and he gets the first position. Then I am dying to get admission in the college. And he works hard and he gets the admission in college. Then I am dying to complete this course and he completes this course. I am dying to get a good job and he gets a good job. I am dying to get married and he gets married. Then I am dying to get a good child and he gets a good child. I am dying to grow that child into a very purposeful individual, and the child is grown up. I am dying that he should get married and get settled in life. The child gets married and settled in life. I am dying, I become a Dadaji, and he becomes a Dadaji. And then he comes to know, hey man, I was never living. I was all the time dying, dying, dying. Alas, we don't even die. See, friends. Therefore, when we talk about death and the fear, is it worthy of entertaining? See? So I asked that teacher from the school in Pilani, I said, sir, please tell me, what is the subject you teach? I am teaching physics. I said, you have made my all job simple. Then I asked him, when the bulb becomes fused, where the light goes, there you will go after your death. He said, I am not able to understand. I said that for that you have to be wise. What do you mean? I said, I mean other. Wise. See, friends, it is only a fear born out of ignorance. And once we understand the principle, the whole fear will disappear. See, in the first chapter of Gita, Arjuna had the fear. The fear was all people will be killed on the battlefield. Naturally, on the battlefield, people are supposed to be killed. It is not a maternity ward that the people will be born there. What is there to be worried about? See? The other day, I was going to Badrinath, and there was one imported model, NRI, from USA. You know, there are two types of NRIs. One type of NRIs are from USA, and other types of NRIs are from non-USA. And there is a distinct difference between the two. The NRIs from USA have the stink of dollar. And the NRIs from other places are very sweet, still Indian. The basic difference. So this was the NRI brand from USA. And we are going, and she was a doctor. She was sitting and said, Swamiji, you have to explain me everything. I am coming to Badrinath with you for the first time. And I just want to know everything. You sit with me. $1? I said, all right. I said, will you like to sit next to the window or in the middle or outside the window? No, next to the window. Then, now tell me. Then I started. I said, see, this is a tree. This is a stone. This is a valley. Swamiji, you are making fool of me. I said, I don't have to. Isn't it? And slowly we started, and was started climbing upway, all the curly rounds, bends. And when she was looking down, deep valley, Swamiji, can we change the seats? I said, okay. I changed the seat. I was sitting near the window and she was sitting in the aisle seat. Then she says, Swamiji, yes. Suppose our bus goes down the ditch, what will happen? So I didn't reply that question. Once, twice, in Kathopanishad it comes, Dvitiyam, Tritiyagam, Tagam, Hovacha. So, once, twice, thrice she asked the question, I didn't reply. Then she got, Swamiji, you are not really serious about me. I said, I am extremely serious. Serious? No, my question is, if our bus goes down there, what will happen? I said, there won't be any need to answer the question. See? Now tell me, that lady who is sitting and going to Bhagwan Badrinath, is she thinking of the God or the ditch? See, friends, fear is only born out of a height of foolishness. Fools are only afraid. Wise people are not afraid. See? And what is the foolishness? The foolishness is this. Number one, Bhagwan says, Arjun, why don't you think little cool? Anything that begins ends. It's a so simple rule. For example, our lecture began. Thank God it will end. See? Similarly, the life begins. It will end. So when it is inevitable, why not accept gracefully? See? This graceful acceptance was done by our past president. See? APJ. He knew. It is, what do you call they call? PJ. Poor joke. He was APJ. He was not a poor joke. He was a wise person. Therefore, he did not try again for being the president because another fool was standing in a queue. See, friends. But if we don't understand this, then we want to repeat it again and again. See, friends. The fear comes only when we don't accept the facts of life. And the only fact of life which is common for every one of us is this death. Whether we want to accept or not, we have to accept it. There is no choice given to us. And if it is accepted intelligently with wisdom, there will never be a fear. It will be a great opportunity. One example I'll give you. This happened in Bombay probably. There was a friend of mine. He was a police inspector. Must be in his early 40s, 42, 43 like that. His wife about 38 or 36. He has 3 children. One day it so happened, and they were the whole family very close to me. One day it so happened he came from somewhere at night, rather early morning, 4 o'clock or so, by an auto rickshaw. Auto rickshaw person dropped him near his house and went away. And when he was just going to put the hand on the call bell, he fell and died. Early morning, Brahma Muhurta, 4 o'clock. Then people, morning walk people, they saw somebody lying there in a properly well-dressed person. So they went and saw what happened. So they found him and tried to move him, he was dead. And the whole thing that follows after death followed. Thereafter, when I was informed, I went, and the son was so miserable, and everybody, natural. And he said, Swamiji, what is this? My dad was so much fond of you, you are his guru, and how can he die? Look here. But when we are under this impact of tragedy, our wisdom is totally nonplus. We are not available to the wisdom. And he became so angry, I am going to throw all the gods out of the house, this thing, that thing, blah, 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 blah. I kept quiet, listening to all his lectures, sincerely, unlike you. So, after that was over, I said, I will come again. Now I am in a hurry. After 2 months I went. By then, the time was the best healer. So then I spoke to him. I said, hey, now talk to me. He says, Swamiji, see, dad has gone, now what will happen to us? My mother and my sister and other sister, and I am still young, I am not only even in the 10th standard or so. I said, look here now, we'll analyze. You are not talking about the death of your father. You are talking about what will happen to me. Your misery is not for your dad. You are a selfish of the highest order. See, friends, if you think about your father and his death, you will not be miserable. If we have to think about Mahatma Gandhi, what is the picture comes in front of our mind? One old dilapidated personality with a stick standing all over the whole India, getting insulted by every crow. Isn't it? If we think about Vivekananda, what is the picture comes in front of our mind? A roaring lion standing fearlessly everywhere, inspiring millions, is it not? Can you think of Vivekananda as a dilapidated person? In the same manner, as a look at, whenever you will think of your father, you will always think of your father as a young man, not a dilapidated person with the drips all around his body till death. Why don't you think in this term? That you had a dad who never became old. He remained young till death. And get inspiration from him. See, friends, we are all miserable because of the fear of death, not what happens to the dead, but what will happen to me, the live. See, friends, we are all selfish, therefore we are afraid. Then I told that boy, I said, suppose your dad has a promotion and he has to leave from Bombay posting and he has to go to Delhi for a higher job. Will you be happy or miserable? Of course, I will be happy. Then from there he gets further promotion and he gets a United Nations job, paid in dollars without income tax. Swamiji, how do you know that? I am an income tax specialist. See? In this manner, when we see somebody is promoted, are we not happy? Death is a promotion to a higher possibility of life. See, friends, Just now somebody asked me, Swamiji, where were you? I said, where I was not. No, you came from which place? I said, note the list. Then I gave him the big list. Starting from New Zealand, Australia, in so many places there, and then your Malaysia, 3-4 places, Singapore, 2-3 places, then Indonesia, 3-4 places, then China, 4-5 places, then Tibet, 3-4 places, and then a day before yesterday, I had a lunch in Beijing, then dinner in Singapore, then breakfast in Singapore, then lunch in Bombay, and dinner in Niromma's place. Oh God, you came so much traveling, you don't get jet lag. I said, I was not flying, the jet was flying. Why should I get the jet lag? Why should I get jet lag? Oh, when we come from any trip, suppose USA, we are having jet lag for 1 week. You are a weakling. See, life, if we take it in the right spirit, you can never have fear in life. And living fearlessly is a joy. Living with fear is the most miserable experience. See? So Bhagavan says to Arjuna, the first thing, accept the facts of life. See? Gatasuna gatasuscha nanu shochanti panditaha. A wise man is the one who does not cry, does not become miserable because somebody dies, and also does not become miserable because somebody doesn't die. The otherwise person is miserable for both the reason. See? I know he should not have died, therefore you are miserable. Again you are miserable. Why? Wo marta bhi nahi. Arey why? Let him continue. See? Therefore, fear is born out of foolishness. It cannot be the real one. And foolishness cannot be corrected by any means except by correcting our thinking process. See, because where is the fear? Is the fear in the kidney? No. Is the fear in the liver? The other day somebody wrote me email. Swamiji, my marriage is fixed with the boy and told me so and so, and his name is Jigar. Gujaratis only have got very peculiar name in the whole world. I said, now when you get married to him, to Jigar, you should name yourself as kidney. One of the organ. In the same manner, is fear an object? Fear is not an object. First. Second thing, where is the fear? Fear is in the mind, in the form of a thought. So the wrong thought can be corrected not by stopping to think, but by correct thinking. See? Like the biological virus, H1N1. See? Last time I told you the meaning of this virus. H1, those who go to USA on a H1 visa, they get N1. Good for nothing. See? So that is the biological virus. Second is the logical virus, which comes in our computers. Computer virus is not a biological, it is a logical fallacy introduced in the thought process of your software. And once that logical fallacy is introduced in your software, the software goes in loops and the whole program is paralyzed. It is called as your computer virus. It is a logical, it is not biological. Now the third one is our. And that our virus is giving a disease called as ego. You have got email, you have got e-commerce. This is ego. And it is born out of a virus called as illogical. So it is neither biological nor logical. It is illogical. And what is that illogical virus? Illogical virus is the fearful existence with the fear of death at every moment. See, friend. A fearful person can never be happy in life. See, friends, in Bhagavad Mahapuran, a story comes. Hiranyaksha, the one who took the earth into the sea waters, was killed by the Lord in the form of Varaha avatar. When he was killed, naturally his wife became miserable. A rare case. I don't know why you are laughing. So, she became miserable. And her brother-in-law was Hiranyakashipu. And when Hiranyakashipu knew about it, so he went to his sister-in-law, Bhabi, and told, look here, it is true that he should not have died, but anyway he died. And the rule is anything that is born has to die. Therefore don't grieve, and it is not wise. And through this satsanga and the pravachan, that sister-in-law comes out of the misery of the death of the husband. But Hiranyakashipu gets confused because of his own thinking. He starts thinking, oh God, what I told her was right. That means that is going to be applied to me also. Because every body that is born has to die. I am also born, so I am also going to die. Therefore, let me do tapasya. See? And tapasya for what? Not for living long. Living as a body on a permanent basis. The other day, I received one SMS. All my wisdom comes through SMS. One old man, 108, died and went to the heavens. And there he saw all around apsaras. Do you know, in Hindi, the government officers are called as apsar. So he saw all the apsaras there. And they were dancing and all kinds of things, And he started cursing himself. I don't know why did I run after that Baba Ramdev and became so old and came here. I should have come here earlier. See, friend, what will you do by living long? Those who are lucky, those who are blessed, they don't continue living long. Because they are unwanted in the heavens, they are kept here. See, like those who are unwanted in India, they are exported, they become NRI. To live in India, you require punya. Those who are Mahapapi, they go out of India. I don't know how many of you are from there now. See, friends. So Hiranyakashipu started doing tapasya. I want to be immortal as a body. Friends, we are all immortal by default. We don't have to do anything. Alas, we all want to be immortal as the body. And it is from here the fear begins. See, when we have simply observed this phenomena, in this world, every body that is born has to die. Why not accept it gracefully? Rather than living constantly under fear, I am afraid, I am going to die. Don't be afraid, you are going to die. I give you guarantee. One young man, about early 30s, 32, 33, he came in Bombay to my place. I stay on the 4th floor. So he said, Swamiji, I want help from you. I said, look here, I never give money to anybody. See, I have no account in Dena Bank. I have got account in Lena Bank. I take only. I got my own principles. So, no, money I don't want, Swamiji. I am here to tell you, last 10 years I am contemplating on committing suicide. I said, come here. See, you see that building? Yes, it is 46-storied building. Go on the top and dive deep, straight on the floor, on the road. And I'll stand there. In case you don't die, I will see that you die. No, you are making fun of me. I said, look here, I don't have to make fun of you. You are funny. Are you living? A person who is thinking of dying for last 10 years, is he ever living? See? Are we not thinking of only all the time of death? See? Last time I remember I told you one Sindhi gentleman. He came and told, Swamiji, last few months I am your regular fan. You know me. I said, I don't know you, but I am your fan. I said, then keep moving. Don't be stagnant. My fans should not remain in the same body for long. Leave the body. So, my fear is, last few months, that what will happen to my wife, my children, my property, my business after I die. That is killing me. I am so fearful about this. I said, you have got a very simple problem. Simply go and ask your people. Then they will tell you, Papa, we are waiting. Go na. Your problem is solved. You don't have a problem. You are a problem for others. See, death. We all have only this wrong notion, like Hiranyakashipu had, that we want to continue to live as a body. A wise man learns from the experiences of others. And the other wise man does not learn even from his own experiences. See? If everybody who is born in this world has died, what is our qualification? We have to. And those who live with this conviction, they live fearlessly. And friends, fearless existence is called as God realization. See? The fearlessness can come out of extreme bitterness or extreme betterness. Extreme bitterness is, I will kill myself, but I will see that the whole society is destroyed. And I go, and nicely people are offering their prayers. I go and blow myself and kill another 100 people. That fearless is born out of bitterness and not betterness. See? And if we have a real fearlessness born out of wisdom, we will be living happily. See? And those who are living happily, they are not a destructive force. They are a creative mechanism. A happy person can never be destructive. A person who is miserable inside can never be constructive. See? I have killed so many people and finally I killed myself. Why? Because I was miserable. So let me kill. And then I'll kill myself also. A happy person will neither kill others nor kill himself. And therefore, this happiness is the real expression of divinity, where fearlessness has disappeared. Fear has disappeared from our system. We lead a fearless life. And the fearlessness can come only if, number one, let us not be Hiranyakashipu attached to the body, thereafter living as the body, for the body, on everybody. No. Let us not live as the body, but let us live through the body. See? My glasses are not looking at you. There are eyes behind the glasses which are looking at you. then my structural eyes are not looking at you. There is somebody who is looking through the eyes at you. See, friends, this somebody, whether eyes are closed, no vision, or eyes are open, the vision, continues to be and is never absent. That eternal presence is untouched by the death. And therefore, none of us can ever have the experience of death. Nobody can have. If you don't believe me, try. See? Swamiji, you have not read one book. I read one book, which is the one, Many Masters, Many Lives. Some of you must have read this book. And that book is a diary of a psychiatrist about his patient. Her name was Kathy. And there she tells, when she is in a hypnotic state, she goes on talking about her past experiences of past life and all that. So, she died so many times. I say, look here, if you analyze what you are talking, you will come to know your fallacy. When we are told in our Hindu religion that we are getting everything in this life because of our past karma, that means to do that good and bad karma, we were there. See? But why did I get such a terrible wife in my life? I mean, because of past karma. See? Now, when it is said because of past karma, what does it mean? Number one, don't blame others for your misery. Number two, you are squarely responsible for your life. Nobody is responsible. Number three, if you don't behave properly in this life, remember your wife is observing Karwa Chauth. She is not going to leave you in next life also. It is a heat detection guided missile. It will strike the target without failure. See? So what is meant is, before this life began, we were there. In this life, we are there. When this body is destroyed, we continue to live in the next life. Therefore, were we ever absent in our life? So what is meant by this principle of rebirth is, we are a continuous, unbroken existence. Discover this truth and live fearlessly. See, Arjuna also was worried about this. Fear about death. And what was his argument? In this battlefield, so many people will be killed. And then the question is, how can I kill my guru and my grandfather? So, killing is not a problem. Death is not a problem. Problem is my guru and my grandfather. If it is your guru and your grandfather, I take the gun, fearless. See? So what was the cause of this fear is the second word, attachment. So, battle was not a problem for Arjuna. Killing the people in the battlefield was not a problem for Arjuna. His problem was the problem of attachment. And where from the attachment begins, please understand. Attachment begins from our gross body. Gujarati. See? In the deep sleep experience, when we are producing sound for the society, see, sound sleep. There is called as sound sleep. The word producing is silent. See? From the silent, I remember somebody said me one Sardarji joke. When he was coming after many years from Canada, and when he was going to land in Bombay, he was so excited. Sardaris, I like them very much, full of life, they are. They are not dead. You will never see a Sardar beggar anywhere, So he was so full of life. And he could not contain. He started shouting, Bombay, 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 Bombay. The air hostess got up. Be silent. So he said, Bombay, Bombay, Bombay. Be silent. Be silent. See, friends. See, if we understand that before we were born in this body, we are there, we were there, now we are there, we continue to be there, where is the fear? The fear is born out of this ignorance. Then I am only this particular gross body. In the deep sleep, when we are snoring away, others have the fear, not we. And who others? Those who are awake. If there is a jugalbandi going on, see, in many houses, when the husband and wife sleep together, they don't fight because there is jugalbandi. Karrrr, karrrr. And the best part is, whenever you snore, you are never in a hurry. Can you imagine somebody snoring hurriedly? खर खर कर खर 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 क्या हो गया जल्दी है everybody is at home, खर then again खर no hurry. That time we have no wrong notion that we are the gross body, and therefore every one of us is Mr. Nobody. See, in the deep sleep, we are Mr. Nobody. And that is what is rightly said. Nobody is happy in this world. It is true. Mr. Nobody alone is happy in this world. The moment you become somebody, you are bound to become miserable. See. So we have fear not only about death, fear about n number of things. See. Fear whether I will have children or not. Fear whether I will be able to bring up children or not. Fear whether the children will listen to me or not. Constantly living in fear. See, friends. Because we are all the time becoming somebody. Next time you are disturbed, just keep cool for a few seconds and look within and find out who is miserable. You will come to know Mr. Somebody is miserable. We are miserable as mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, neighbor, or somebody. We are never miserable when we are nobody. So fear is born when we become somebody. And that somebody becoming is only association with a finite conditioning called as somebody we have become. Therefore, friends, this fear of death has its root in the body identification. So when I am identified with the body, then only I become somebody, mother, father, brother, sister, etc. And then death is not a problem. The death problem is my brother, my father, my mother. Then the problem begins. See, friends, once I was in cancer hospital, Bombay, attending somebody, and I had a lot of time. I was studying also, sleeping there on the floor, and general ward. So slowly I became friendly with all the nurses and sisters and all those things. And I used to call as my old habit, Amma to everybody. So one night, after at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, I was reading, a little tired. So I said, let me relax. So I walked around, spoke to all the patients, hello, hello. And then to the nurse, chief nurse, sister, I said, Amma, don't call me Amma. I am not a South Indian. First firing. I said, okay, Amma, I will not call you Amma. Then she said, call me sister. I said, okay, sister. Every day, I am here now, last few weeks, I am hearing this patient died, that patient died. You must be having this every day, same stories. Sometimes you are taking food and you get a message somebody died, and again you have to leave the food and all that. Don't you get a fear or a feeling in your mind that the body is so fragile, so destructible, any time anything can happen to anybody, so something can happen to my body also? Don't you get feeling like that? She looked at me. I am not a fool to think like that. See, this was the question answered by Yudhishthir to that Yaksha. What is the most wonderful thing in this world? He said, people take the dead bodies to burn, but they never accept that one day they have to come and sit over there. See, friends, this non-recognition of the reality of the life is the root cause of fear for death. Therefore, friends, unless we take the first step, and what is that first step? As we grow, instead of becoming somebody as a strong personality, let us grow to dissolve the personality and grow as Mr. Nobody. Somebody is a burden on our system, and nobody is a freedom from the burden of somebody. See? And how do we become nobody? We can become nobody only if we take up one profession, and that profession is serve the society at your physical level. See? May sevaka sacharachara rupa Swami Bhagavanta. When we take this vocation of serving the people, we forget our small little identity. And when we forget our small little identity, we can never become miserable in life. We can never get insulted in life. We can never get influenced by the problems of our life. The only way to get out of the fear and misery of one's own life is to help others get out of their fear and their miseries and see the joy of life. Living for oneself, even a dog can do. That is not a human life. See, if we look within ourselves, what we have done in our whole life. We go to the heavens and the God asks, come on, Patel, sit down. I sent you as a human being. Yes. What did you do? What did I do? Patel is in soup. Because whole life he was taking only soup. What did I do? Sir, I am from Gujarat. Therefore, I have consumed 200 tons of dhokla. Arey Ram Ram. What next? I am from Anand. Therefore, I have been drinking tankers of milk. Very good. But what did you produce? You know that. See? Is our life only a machine to convert the sumptuous meal into a terrible garbage? Think. The only thing which can really free us from the fear of death or any kind of fear is only to get out of the clutches of our small existence. Expand. The more you expand, the more happy you are. See? Our condition is like a person, I met him in a hotel, 5-star hotel, Taj Hotel, before 26/11. See? I was attending the marriage of the son of Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji. We Babajis are fit for every program. One person asked me, Swamiji, I am surprised, how come you are for this marriage? I said, why not? He said, normally Swamis don't go for marriage. I said, they must be jealous. I am not jealous, I am happy. So, after I went there, then the same cinema time, this video, that video, and go and stand there, and then photograph and all that. That is the only time they laugh. Thereafter, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveda continues. So after all that was over, I took my meals. That was my major, item. I took my meal and sat somewhere for eating. And one person was entering that hall, unknown to me. When I saw him, I said, "Excuse me, please come." So he came to me. I said, "I'll ask you some question, don't get angry." What is that? "What is your shoe number?" A Swami in a 5-star hotel asking to an unknown person his shoe number. Can you imagine? So he looked at me. "Why?" I said, "Don't argue. Did you put on the shoe with less one number than your usual number?" "How do you know?" I said, "I am Sarvagya, omniscient." Yes. Actually, what happened? He told his story. I went to get the shoes because I was supposed to come over here. And I selected, and then they delivered me at the counter. I paid the money. And today, just before coming, I put on the shoes and all that. And in the car, I was feeling a little uneasy. Then I thought maybe because it's a new shoe, it is like that. But when I was climbing the steps and coming, it was really difficult. And I'm really suffering. But my question is, how do you know? He was angry about it. I said, because you are not walking normal. This is not the way you walk. You are not walking a catwalk. Have you seen how the cats walk? One step here, second is here, third is here, fourth is here. Although they are born as girls, they like to walk a catwalk. What more tragedy? See? And therefore he said, "Yes, you are right. But now I can't do anything." I said, "Take food and sit with me and eat comfortably. Don't walk." Now the point is, if one number shoe you put on less, how funny we walk. We are essentially infinite, Parabrahma Paramatma. Put on this small little shoe, whatever funny expression is, that is you and me. Break this barrier. Remove your shoes and expand. An expansion is possible only when we don't live for ourselves. See, let us learn to live for others. And when we start living for others, then we don't fall in love. Then we have love. See? Now this is the common experience. When a first-time mother is carrying the baby and the baby is delivered, what are the instructions given by the mother and the mother-in-law? 101, except one instruction. And that one instruction which is not given is love your baby. Is it given any time? No. Because with that baby, love happens. And with the boyfriend and the girlfriend, प्यार में गिर गए. I have fallen in love, and therefore they are miserable. Whenever you fall, you have to be miserable. Because that love is an act. I have done love with her. उसके साथ प्यार किया इसी दिन को देखने के लिए, नहीं रात भी ऐसी ही है. See? So whenever an action of love is done, misery is guaranteed. But when the love is, and how there is a love for that lady, for the child? Because the child is none other than her own extension, is it not? If we are able to discover that this whole world, yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanataha tatra ko moha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. Ishavasya says, when one is able to diagnose, discover and experience that the total world is my own expanse, then with the world we are in love. We don't fall in love with the world. And when we are living for the beloved, our difficulties, our tragedies, our problems, they become secondary. See, friends. Therefore, our attachment ties us down to a cocoon existence. But to break this cocoon of limitation and expanding in this world is the process of seva, serving the society. See, friends. And once we get involved with these kinds of activities, simply get involved in this kind of activities, you will see the joy. You will have no time left to think about your worries. We all have problem of only one problem. And that one problem is we are having excess of time at our disposal. सुबह उठ गए, बाप रे अब क्या करूं? Let us go for swimming. Swimming, okay. खाने को क्या है? अरे swimming and खाने को क्या है? Whenever we have nothing to do, we think only of eating. You must have seen when you travel a long distance in train, what we do. I always pray to the Lord when I go by a long distance. This time I was going from Beijing to Lhasa, 47 hours journey. And a very beautiful, never seen such a wonderful train in the whole world. I had traveled the whole world. Euro trains are like, Belgadi before that Chinese train. There was not a single jhatka in between. You could even read and write without little bit of movement. No sound at all. Better than the aeroplane. So beautiful it was. So everything was good. And my friend asked me, Swamiji, how do you like? I said, one thing I am missing here. He expected I will say, oh, it's a very good train. But I am a specialist in complaining. So I said, one thing is lacking. What is that? I said, in our compartment, there should have been a Surti, Gujarati or a Marwadi. Why? They would have opened their dabba. See? Now we are taking the same useless bread and same butter. I said, I hate to look at it. There's no choice. See? So 47 hours without eating. Big sadhana. See? And here every day we get up in the morning. Now what is to be done? Breakfast के लिए क्या बनाया है? Then you come on the table, breakfast. Lunch के लिए क्या बनाएंगे? Now when you are eating food, शाम को हाई टी के साथ बहुत दिनों से समोसे नहीं खाए, समोसे बनाओ. Whole day and night, single point in contemplation, eat, eat, eat. Because there is nothing to do, nowhere to go. Khao. See, whenever we have got excess time, we become bhoga-oriented. And a bhogi's next station is not a yogi or a rogi. See, friends. Therefore, it is extremely necessary that we keep ourselves occupied in serving the society, and as a result, we lead a cheerful life all the time. A person who is cheerful is not fearful. And a person who is not fearful, he has no attachment. And a person who doesn't have attachment, he alone can transcend the limitations of Mr. somebody or the other and start living in this world fully. And when we live fully, wholeheartedly, not with a hole in the heart, when we live wholeheartedly, then every moment is a celebration and not a calibration. Kitna bill hai? Have you seen 3 Idiots? Yes? Those who have not seen, they have wasted their life. See, in that Three Idiots, there is one character who was supposed to get married to that, actress, I don't know her name. And every time when somebody puts, just to taste him, some chutney on his shoes, he becomes very angry and he cleans it immediately. Oh, he has spoiled my shoes, $200. Typical American. See? So, such people are called as price tags. Life is not a calibration. क्या मिला? अरे बाबा क्या दिया? Expand. And expansion is possible only when we serve. See, friends, all your fear will disappear. Then we will come to know the only beautiful thing in life is our death. And that death is such death which we experience while we are alive. And that death is renunciation of our status of Mr. Somebody and living as nobody, unclaimed, like a wild flower gives fragrance to the unknown, remains unknown, and disappears to nowhere. That is the fulfillment in life. One girl came today, Swamiji, I want to take your interview. So, similarly, one girl took my interview in Dehradun for some newspaper. And I don't know in what mood I was. She said, Swamiji, I want to take your interview. I said, I don't give anybody anything. No, I will ask you questions. Please reply. I said, do you know the difference between reply and answer? I'll reply. What do you mean by answer? I said, you have got poor knowledge of English. No, I want to ask some questions. I said, start. She asked me, Swamiji, when are you born? I said, I don't remember. No, please tell. I said, okay, you tell me, do you remember your birth? No. Then, how do you know? People tell. I said, people tell you are a dumb. Do you agree? No. Then why do you say that you are born? No, but I want to know your date of birth. I said, okay, note down, 31st April. Year I will not tell. Okay. Taking my interview, I am born on 31st April. Agreed. You must have known about somebody who is fooled on the 1st April, is it not? This was the case of a journalist fooled on the 31st April. 31 times fooled. Then afterwards, when she got disgusted getting all the answer, okay, Swamiji, don't like to answer straight. I said that is manufacturer's defect because I don't talk straight to the crooked people. What do you mean? I said, I don't mean anything. Last question. Then last question, how do you like to leave your footprints in this world when you leave? I said, first of all, you are going to die before me. So you will not be there to see my footprints. Second thing, footprints are possible when you walk in a mud. See, when a bird flies, doesn't leave any footprints. I said, I don't want to leave any footprints in this world. Live unclaimed, fully, cheerfully, and get out of this world like a lily flower and discover fulfillment in life rather than struggling, fulfilling your desires in life. And this fulfillment, he who has recognized is the only ultimate of our life, then small little things can never disturb us. Our fear is, पता नहीं कल बिजली आएगी कि नहीं अरे नहीं आई तो नहीं आई when a problem is for everybody it is not for anybody. See, but we become so unwantedly involved in the imaginary problems of the future. Therefore, friends, let us understand the secret of fearlessness. Correct your identity. We cannot be the body, but we are the embodied, functioning through the body. And therefore, nobody can ever have the experience of death. Then why it is told in our scripture that after birth and after death you go to hell and heaven? Just to threaten you. Because without fear we don't work. Vishasmad vatapavate bhisho deti suryaha Vishasmad agnischendrascha mrityur dhavati panchama iti. Kathopanishad says, unless there is a rod of fear, we don't behave properly. The other day, when I was in Singapore, my friend asked me, Swamiji, you have seen here Indians, said, yes, how they are neat and clean and all that. Why the same Indians, when they go back to India, they are not? I said, India is a real freedom country, Here, we have got total freedom to do any mess, anywhere, nobody can challenge us. In Singapore, you throw a chewing gum, not only you are fined dollars, but in addition, 7 whips, hunter, canes, they call it canes, 7 canes. And then there is nobody who can do it on your behalf. You have to take it yourself. Okay. It cannot be replaced by additional dollars. You have to have it. Okay. Then you go there and 7. They give you very lovingly, part. In 3rd cane you collapse down. They are so considerate and loving. They take you to the hospital, submit you, you are taken care of, and on the, that paper is written, 7 total, 4 balance. So, his whole life, he will never do it again. See, it is not out of love they are disciplined. Similarly, you go to the other countries, US, etc. There, do you think people are disciplined because of understanding and love? When their driving license are cancelled, they are just stagnant, they can't move. Therefore, they have to have the rod of fear. This rod of fear is given in our scriptures. That if you don't behave properly, you'll go to hell. This is the only way we can behave properly. But that we take as a primary thing. The primary thing is to come to cognize that our existence is a continuous, unbroken presence. When we come to discover this through the proper spiritual practices, the fear from life disappears. And then we start living joyfully. A person who is cheerful and joyful, he alone is in tune with the divine. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kangshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. The ultimate declaration of Bhagavad Gita is the one who is in tune with the divine, Brahma bhutaha prasannatma, he is ever cheerful and happy, never miserable. See, when somebody dies, we go and make that person more miserable. No, that person knows. Why we have to remind him? One old friend of mine, when I was told that his